Welcome to Stocks to Watch, our exclusive one-on-one series with executives to help you make informed investment decisions. I'm Ashley Berry, and we're welcoming Simon Benstead, CFO, Vice President of Business Development, and Director of Tembo Gold, as well as Director Marc Cernovitch. The rapidly growing gold exploration and development company is principally focused on growth and consolidation in the highly prolific and prospective Lake Victoria Goldfield in Tanzania. They're listed on the TSX Venture Exchange as TEM. Great to have both of you with us today.
Thank you, Ashley.
Thank you very much, Ashley. Thank you.
Absolutely. So, Marc, I'd like to begin with you. Tembo Gold has recently released a very exciting update. But before we delve into the details, and for our viewers who are not familiar with the company, could you tell us a bit briefly about the company and its projects besides the ones you just acquired?
Thank you, Ashley. So as you mentioned, Tembo is primarily focused on gold exploration in Tanzania. We've been active there effectively since 2012, working on our flagship project, which is the Tembo Project. The Tembo Project is located directly adjacent to one of Africa's largest gold mines, and most certainly Tanzania's largest gold mine, being Barrick's over 20 million ounce Bulyanhulu deposit. So we have, at the Tembo Project, we've conducted over 50,000 meters of drilling over the years with exceptional results. For example, one of our better intercepts was 15 meters at just under 23 grams a ton of gold. The company continues to develop and move that asset towards production. We recently, about 18 months ago, struck a deal with a partnership with Barrick, because as I mentioned, we're directly contiguous to them. And we're just in the final processes of generating a maiden resource. And as we continue to advance that project, we fully expect to be able to generate not only one, but several multi-million ounce deposits.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of excitement, swirling around here. Simon, you've announced that your subsidiary, Tembo Gold Tanzania, has acquired, in fact, 2 gold projects. Perhaps you could tell us about that and why you've chosen specifically to acquire it. And perhaps you could give us details about the due diligence process here and what it revealed.
Yeah, of course. Thanks, Ashley. So although the Tembo project is really as good as it gets from an exploration perspective, we were quite vulnerable to the punitive cycle of raise, dilute, drill, repeat, raise, dilute, drill, repeat. And the board was quite uncomfortable with that strategy moving forward. So with the acquisition of the Imwelo and Dora projects, we're acquiring approximately 800,000 ounces that are contiguous, which gives us an opportunity to, build something at a district scale. The Imwelo project in particular is fully permitted. And, in the coming months, we aim to move that closer towards production. We've really just scratched the surface in exploration and believe that we can grow both of these projects, to multi-million ounce resources. The due diligence really was led by our CEO, David Scott. He's based in Tanzania. He's been there for 25 years. He's a very experienced and senior geologist. He worked with some consultants and obviously had reference to the pre-feasibility study and also the resource estimate. And we're quite comfortable with that process and also quite excited to work with the team from Lake Victoria Gold, which is the company we're acquiring that previously owned the Dora and Imwelo projects.
Okay, very helpful there. Marc, I'd like to ask you maybe if you could share a little bit more details about the specific terms of that agreement.
Sure, Ashley. So I think we acquired the projects on very advantageous terms. Between the two of them, we're acquiring, as Simon mentioned, a little over 800,000 ounces. And the total cost is approximately $5 million US, of which roughly 500,000 is in cash, and the balance is in shares, in Tembo shares, at a price of 22 cents.
So that must be pretty attractive to shareholders and potential shareholders, I would
Very
think.
attractive, and it also aligns us with the management team of Lake Victoria is coming with that acquisition, and that rounds out our team and aligns all of their interests with existing shareholders, given they're going to be significant shareholders of Tembo on a go-forward basis.
So Taifa Mining and Civils Limited, I guess, Simon, I'd like to ask you maybe, what could you say that the capabilities they bring to the table, and how will the funds be deployed?
Well, Taifa is a world-class firm, and they are by far the biggest mining contractor in Tanzania, and they're owned by the richest and most influential private citizen in the country. So there's tremendous synergies and advantages that come from having Taifa as a strategic partner. They do extensive work and are in fact the largest mining contractor for Barrick Gold and for AngloGold Ashanti. So we really are working with the best of the best in country. In essence, what they were looking to do was to work with a gold company that had expertise in management, so that they could work with as part of a team to build a portfolio of projects, because there's so many great opportunities in Tanzania. Previous to getting involved with Tembo, Taifa had done a partnership deal with a coal company and with a diamond company, and this is just sort of the next step in them building their presence in Tanzania.
And Simon, you mentioned Tembo Gold subsidiary Tembo Gold Tanzania has also acquired the Dora Gold Project, which is adjacent to the Imwelo mining license to the west, east, and south. So, Marc, I'd like to ask you perhaps if you could tell us more about this project briefly, and how this is an opportunity for Tembo Gold to achieve economies of scale in this exploration effort and maximize the chances of success.
So as Simon previously mentioned, the Imwelo project is has been through a pre-feasibility process and is fully permitted, moving towards production. The Dora project is directly contiguous to the Imwelo project, to the north, south, and primarily to the west. It's the same whole geological package that continues on to the Dora project that was present on the Imwelo project. The Dora project is a little less advanced in that it's only had an initial resource estimate of just over 500,000 ounces. Most of those ounces are in the inferred category. But again, the exploration that's been conducted to date there has really only scratched the surface, with drilling down to only 70, 80 meters. And when you look at that project compared to the Geita gold mine, which is 12 kilometers to the east of us, where they're mining down to 300, 400, 500 meters, we believe we can grow that 500 ounces significantly with a little more exploration and development. And when you look at our development plans and goals, step one is to start production, to hopefully start production at the Imwelo project at roughly 12,000 ounces per year, growing that to 25,000 ounces per year during year 2, 3, and then simultaneously continuing to advance the Dora project, to bring those resources up to proven and probable, with the goal of, on a combined basis, getting to 75 to 100,000 ounces a year of gold production over the next 4 or 5 years.
Okay, thanks for that, Marc. Simon, I'd like to ask you any other terms or details about the acquisition deal, and perhaps your future plans that our viewers should know about here.
Yeah, of course. I mean, the timing of this conversation couldn't be better. This is truly a transformative moment for Tembo, as we shift from being a one-asset explorer to a vehicle for growth and consolidation in, as you said in your opening comments, one of the most prospective and prolific regions in the world, certainly one that is the most underexplored. There are a number of advanced projects in Tanzania that fly under the radar of the big boys like Barrick. And our intention is to use cash flow from production to, to identify and evaluate these other opportunities in country. And, Imwelo and Dora are really just stepping stones on the way to a much larger portfolio, as Marc previously mentioned.
Mm-hmm. So for prospective shareholders or those that don't really understand the significance of this, what it is you're doing, how do you get them excited about, learning more about your company? And of course, telling them this right now, as you said, timing couldn't be more perfect, that this is the right time to consider your stock.
Yeah, I mean, as I said in my previous comments, it really is a transformative moment for Tembo. And buying stock today enables the everyday investor to really invest at the ground floor level and participate under the same, if not better terms than the richest man in Tanzania, the owner of Taifa, who is paying 22 cents, 24 cents, and 26 cents as part of the binding term sheet that we signed with them in August. And here with the stock trading at 16 cents today, it's very opportunistic. Further to that, Barrick paid 27 cents for 5.5 million shares just 6 months ago. Excuse me, just 18 months ago. So again, with the stock trading at about 40% less than that, there really is an opportunity for investors to act today. However, I think that it's part of a bigger, broader consideration, which is exposure to gold and finding what vehicle you want to, as an investor, to express that view in gold. If you look at, what's happening in the world right now, everything needed really for the investment thesis in gold is either occurring or has occurred. You have wars being fought. You have central banks that are, essentially about to blow up because of their insolvency. You have labor disputes. You have political disputes. You have confidence in central banks that it's eroding very, very quickly. And you have a huge sell-off in US bonds, which in itself underpins the entire financial system. Gold has always been a bet, against instability. Gold has always been, almost in all of recorded human history, a way to preserve purchasing power and a way to preserve your wealth. And, Tembo is a great way to play it.
Transformative moment, a lot in the pipeline. Marc, would you like to add anything?
I think Simon cut it off.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, both of you, Simon Benstead, CFO, Vice President of Business Development and Director, as well as Director Marc Cernovitch of Tembo Gold, again, trading on the TSXV as TEM. Thank you both for your time, for sharing these incredibly interesting insights here with us on Stocks to Watch. We, of course, look forward to sharing more with our audience.